recorded an intro, and the audio wasn't recording, so now this is all fresh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But all right, we just got out of Dune. This is my second time seeing it. This is a new format for us. We don't really do these because we don't go to the movies. And
we don't go outside, basically.
Yeah, Freddie's back in town, and this is our first reaction out of the movie theater. So we just got done watching Dune. What'd you think?
I thought it was really good, dude. I love sci-fi stuff.
You like this director too. You saw Arrival.
Shit. Oh yeah, it is the same guy.
It's the same dude.
I love The Arrival.
Yeah.
The setting was cool. Acting was great. All the basics, whatever.
Yeah.
I have no complaints about any of that. I do wish some of the audio parts were a little louder. Or, because I do, with movies like this, with sci-fi movies, there's always like names of places and names of people. There's always weird shit that you'll miss. Like, I'm not asking for subtitles in a movie theater, but that would have helped a little bit.
Well, but even when we have surround sound at home, we watch it with subtitles. So like, it's kind of hard to get used to that,
Yeah,
like,
that's true. That. But that would be like my only.
It's a lot. It's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of like, where are we at now? And like, even for me seeing it a second time, there were some parts I wish I could understand more. It wasn't as clear, but it's not like it was bad or anything.
It wasn't bad at all. It was an amazing movie, yeah. And it didn't seem like it was 2 hours and a half. Like, it kind of. Yeah, it went pretty. It was a really good pace. It went really well. I didn't want it to end,
Mm-hmm.
Like Artie was saying, at the end you're gonna feel like, oh, the story is just starting.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sick. Overall, I'd probably give it like a 3.8 out of 5. I think.
That's really
like
good.
a high, like a high 7, close to 8, maybe an 8. Well, yeah, close to an 8, maybe an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
4 to 5, 3.8, something like that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think the big takeaway, is a plus for you liking it, is that you're not into Star Wars. I think the big thing that people don't know about Dune, or they're starting to find out, is that this kind of led the way for everything sci-fi that we watch nowadays, in the book form, and now people like took from it so much that nobody really knows, like, this is like kind of the main.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know.
You know what I mean?
It's the original juicer then?
It's the original juicer for sci-fi that a lot of people said that couldn't be done in live action. So it had a lot to live up to, and I think it speaks a lot that you liked it, even though you're not really like the demographic for like, these kind of space opera, sci-fi, bigger than live storytelling, because sometimes people just want to go to the movies and have fun.
Did the Star Wars get like inspired by this?
Yeah, George Lucas.
George Lucas has said he was inspired by Dune.
Yeah, he took a lot of stuff from Dune and kind of made it his own. Luke being,
So why did it take so long for this movie to get like?
Because like imagine George Lucas took the good stuff from this movie and made Star Wars, while people took so much from like a fucking dank ass like cow. We have the whole cow in front of us. People took the loin, people took the fucking, the good meat, and now they kind of like didn't leave anybody else to like take from the cow. Now we're getting the whole cow fed to us, and Denis Villeneuve set up the table. We didn't even get to eat the food yet. He just set up the plates and everything in this movie, He didn't really, he's like, the second movie's we're gonna have fun. This was still fun, but like,
the fight scenes were sick. Speaking of fun,
yeah,
the fight scenes were sick. Whatever technology they had, the little armor thing, that was cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite scene was was early on in the movie when Paul gets brought into that lady, and
you hear her voice
again.
Yeah.
And I think what happened in that scene is she uses the voice, but then he's already like kneeling, or like they cut it in a way where you don't even see like him doing what she says. He's
already there, yeah.
And I wish they would have done that more in the movie. Because they use the voice, like when they're on the little helicopter thing. And he's like, oh, cut his throat, whatever. When she's like, when they're using it, they're kind of not. They didn't do it the way they did it in that scene.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done it, because that was really sick.
Yeah. And it shows, like he's still trying to get better at it.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe the cut was so dramatic in that scene, because she was already a master.
Yeah.
I think
that's true. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. That's real and true.
Yeah. Because like his was like kind of choppy, like when he did in the first.
That's a really good point. Because maybe later on they'll use those kind of like edits when it's like a really juiced or strong voice, and when because he's such a novice and he's new or whatever, and maybe the mom isn't that good as well compared to like someone that's that good.
Well, that mom is part of that cult, and she broke away to she didn't marry that dude, but she wanted to be with this guy. So I guess like I saw some YouTube videos about those they're pretty much witches, and those people try to control men and do their bidding from the like the background. So they're promised to like a king, and they say, hey, I'm gonna give you women, and then that's how they make like more. She broke away from that and made a son. So like I'm really curious to see how that comes about in the second story, because I've already heard some YouTube videos kind of explain that, but I didn't really go too deep into it because I didn't want to spoil it.
Right.
But it's the mom's really as an interesting character, and why she's different from the other witches, and I think that's really cool that they're gonna explore that in the next film. Timothy Chalamet, or whatever the fuck his name is, the cute white guy, he was really good. The soundtrack was awesome. I think my favorite scene was always with the dad and the son. That dynamic of the dad was like really strong, like as a leader.
But he was young, so the thing I liked about Dad too is that he looked like a young dad, and he kind of was like, I didn't, when my dad passed this on to me, I didn't want it either.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, they're kind of both going through the same shit.
And I think that's cool. That speaks about like a lot of people that want to be leaders. The people that always want to be leaders are always fucking psychos.
Yeah.
The people that are the best leaders are the ones that don't want to do it.
That's true.
And they always kind of try to do the best thing for the people. And I think that's what Timothy's, or Paul is gonna grow up to be. Is gonna be a great leader, and he didn't want to do it. And he's like, you're gonna find this ring, and hopefully you find it in the best way, like how I did. And I think he's doing that. Zendaya, I wish she was in it more, but she was kind of like.
I like that she wasn't in it anymore. I like that because they built her up so much, and then they kind of like gave us like a little at the end.
Yeah, if they gave us too much of her, maybe she didn't live up to what they were hyping her up to.
Every time I saw her on screen, I'm like, oh, she's the fucking girl from the Visions. Like, this is important. Like, and I like how it was. They only put her in like her dialogue was very What am I trying to say? Her dialogue was well, the words she said, they picked it really carefully because like you don't want to show her too much, you don't want her to say too much things, and it loses kind of like the value. They spent the whole damn movie building it up.
Yeah, if she would have just talked and told her everything. Or
They chose the words carefully. I like that.
I think Dennis Villeneuve needs to make the second one. I would watch this movie in like long form if they did an HBO series, which would be sick. Like, we could have spent like a year just on his planet before he even got to the sands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Overall, I would say it's like, 8 out of 10, 5 out of fucking 5. I don't know.
5 out of 5, 8 out of 10?
I think it, the more I watch it, like, the more I could just sit there and, like, take more things in that I didn't know I needed to know about. Like, I want to know more about, like they don't have computers on their planet. There's no computers. All the dudes are, the emperors, or the Paul's dad's homie, the fat dude. He was just a smart dude. That's why his eyes roll back in the back of his head. There's a lot of things that I feel like they can go in depth in more in long format. But I don't know. Well, that was our reaction. Stoked that you liked it. And guys, leave a comment down below. Leave a like. Hopefully, if you guys like this, we'll do another one of these out of the movie theater reviews. And we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.